Hi there, it's Lisa. I have a two-part video today. The first part I'm going to be doing one of two complementary pages. These two pages have to do with an event for my parents' wedding anniversary recently, but there were two different activities going on, so I have pages that'll be together in my album, but they have two different stories, two different titles, so I want to use the same product and have them complement each other, but not exactly be a two-page layout. So for this first one, I have a picture of the four of us, and I've selected four 6x6 papers from the recorded collection from Webster's Pages. I have some of the large 12x12 paper as well as the 6x6. And I'm going to use those in some kind of overlapping fashion. I haven't done my sketch at this point. I'm just kind of, pulling product. What I'm trying to do here is build a kit that I can use between the two layouts. The other page I have two 3x5 photos that I'm going to put together, and I'll probably use one of the 12x12 papers for those. So let's take a look at those and see which one might work the best. This top one here I think I can rule out right away because I'm using the small version of that on the 6x6 side, and I think it might look funny to use both papers with both scales. The B side doesn't work either. This heart and arrow really fits the anniversary theme, however it doesn't really fit the theme of what's going on those two pages. I like this wood grain stripe one, and the yellow one there has the same issue though as the other papers do, in that I'm repeating it on the other pages. So looking at some of the B-sides, again, I like the wood grain. It's a little bit blah. I'm looking for something with a little more pizzazz to it for the two photos. Those are about a visit to an art gallery, and I think they need a little more color to them. So I'm leaning towards that diagonal stripe for those, maybe with some of the other pages as accents. And now I want to pull together some other embellishments and things that I'll use for these two pages and have them handy while I'm working. I have these thickers that I bought to go with the collection. They weren't necessarily meant to, but they're things that match. I had some thickers in my stash, and then I have some glitz letter stickers as well. These little hearts were meant to go with the collection. They're also from Webster's Pages, and I feel like those really fit the theme, so I'll probably use those. In the 6x6 pad, I love using these little journaling cards and cutting those up. I like the love one there in particular. I have to see if any of the others fit for what I'm doing. And now I'm going to go through my embellishments, and sometimes I do this ahead of doing my layouts, and other times I don't. In this case I want to kind of do a kit. Now I keep my ribbon in a separate place in jars above my work table, so these are my other, what I would call soft embellishments, and there's canvas things here. There's some pink paisley mistables. I like those cork embellishments, so I pulled those out. This looks very messy in here. It's not quite as bad as it looks, but it could use a little bit of organizing. And I also have one for what I consider the hard embellishments, brads, wood, veneers, that type of thing. This is the basic gray carte pastel. I'm considering maybe some of those. Those little keys came from Hobby Lobby. I don't think they work quite for this. Brads I usually pull out as I need them, but since I'm in here, I'm just going to pull a couple of sets to kind of remind me that those are possibilities, and look at some of my other wood embellishments. I always transfer them out of their packaging into something that's easy to manage and keep them contained. And I also keep my enamel dots and some of the other purchased embellishments with in this drawer. So here's a good variety of things, and I'll just put them in the box where I normally store the papers for a collection, and just lay these on top, and they'll be handy and ready whenever I want to work with the collection. Now I went to my ribbon jars and I pulled out just a few ribbons. I don't have a lot of ribbons that go with this, but I have a couple of twines there from Lawn Fawn that I had in the drawers, and a couple of other ribbons. And as I say, everything is right here ready when I start to work on the pages, which I'm about to do. So let's look at the first page. This is the one with the 4 6x6, and I have a sketch that's over on my blog if you'd like to find it. My plan is to do this in sort of a diagonal arrangement. I did add that one heart there on the lower left-hand corner of the photo kind of at the last minute, and I don't know whether I'm going to end up using that or not. This page doesn't have a lot of journaling because it's more just about, it's just a a moment in time sort of thing. I was looking for background paper, and I thought I had the perfect paper here. This is Rich Razzleberry from Stampin' Up. I have a ton of this paper, but I thought it would look really good because it matched the colors. But when I put this down here, all of a sudden my dress just pops out because this matches that background color perfectly. And really, this photo is more about my parents than us, so I don't want something that really makes me pop out of the picture. My mother's dress was a dark green, but it came out kind of gray in the photos, so I'm going to try some gray cardstock. And I couldn't believe the difference. It was just like, wow, that is so much better than that raspberry color, because it's the neutral. It helps her dress show up and my dress kind of fade a little bit. I'm wearing a bright color, so it's going to show up to a certain degree, but this helps considerably. So I was checking the layout there and looking at some of the other embellishments that I may use. This cork one I like, this large one. I thought I might put some of the title on there. I'm just going to cut it separate from the packaging so it'll be easy to move around. Move my photo up some. And I'm looking for the lettering and some, I was also looking for this border. I thought I would use one of these from Pink Paisley. These are mistables. You can mist them, paint them, do a lot of different things with them. So I think I'm going to use this one with the large scallops. And again, I'm just going to cut the sheet apart so I can do whatever I need to do with it. I'll definitely have to add some color to it. Here are the thickers that I picked out. And one concern I have with these is the same thing I had with the background paper. They're really bold. They're the same color as that dress, and that may not be the best color. So I'm going to look through my stash and see what else I can find. Now the heart theme, I have that one heart paper clip, and I also have these hearts from Maya Road. They're wood veneer, and I'm looking to see if the small one has a design to it, and it doesn't. Both of the small ones are plain. So I could do all wood, I could do a mixture of wood and the paper clip, just kind of what I'm leaning towards, because that one really large heart is a little bit big. I think I want to add some of this trim in. This is a very old trim, I'm not sure where it came from, but I like the texture to it. I think adding textured trims on layouts really helps. And I know I'll be using some enamel dots when I get further along. A couple of different kinds there. One thing I'd like to add to this, well, a couple of things. The little journaling card, and I know I want to add some twine. I also want to add some color to this border. And I'm looking at the darkest color in the paper, which is a little darker than my dress. I have some mist, but it's more of a grayish tone. It's kind of between the color in the paper and the background. So I thought I would start with the Rich Razzleberry marker from Stampin' Up. I know it's going to be bright, and then I may add some mist over the top of that. So I'm just using the marker to color this in. And this will help me get down in the little grooves good, rather than just using an ink pad. Okay, I go over the whole thing with the marker, and then I'm just taking a paper towel to blot up some of the excess to that. And now I'm going to mist it with the Heidi Swap Amethyst Mist, because it looks good on here, except it's too bright like some of the other things. So I want to add some of that mist, and I'm going to do that off camera. Now what happens, and how it got to be such a mess, is I misted it, and when you add mist to something that's water-based like that marker, and then you take a paper towel and try to mop up some of the excess, the result is you take all the color off. So it did not come out very good. So what I'm going to end up doing here is painting it, because paint will be permanent and I won't have to worry about accidentally taking the color off. But I need to get a paint color mixed, and I inadvertently kind of did my mixing over to the side and didn't get that filmed. But I'm using sort of a fuchsia colored paint, and I'm adding some black into it to make it darker. And then this is the color that I've ended up with. And I'm just using a really stiff bristle brush to get that down into the grooves. And I've worked with these things, these mistable things, enough to know they're kind of plasticky, and when you go to take the excess off, a lot comes off, so I think I should have started with paint. I'm using a second brush to just pull some of the extra off because I had it a little bit too thick on there. And one of the advantages to paint is not only is it permanent when it dries pretty fast. I keep my extra paint, I just put it on some plastic, and then I just fold the plastic over itself, so if I need the paint, I'll have it until the project is done. So when I finish that, it looks really good. You'll see it again here in a minute. I changed the numbers there. You can see the 55 is gray, and I was going to use some of these glitz stickers for the word years, but I ended up using some techniques from my creative cardstock class to do those because the little glitz stickers were too small. Now I've got some twine here from Lawn Fawn. This is their some of their trimmings. I love this twine. It's a good weight. It's a mixed color, beige and gold, and it makes a really pretty accent. I think it may have been designed for Christmas. I'm not sure. I bought it kind of with that intention, but it can be used for a lot of different things. So I'm just wrapping it around the edges here, and I'll do a little bit of tidying up with that in a few moments. The word love is on a white background, and nothing else is on a white background, so I'm going to add some antique linen ink over the top of it just to make that more beige and make it fit into the rest of the elements. And now my border is nice and dry and a great color, so I'm ready to start doing some assembly here. I thought I was going to add my photo with pop dots, but I decided just to glue it down since there are going to be things on top of it, and using the ruler to get it on there good and straight. Try to keep my head out of this as much as I can. Now this border is going to need to be cut in half so that I can split it and have it go underneath the 55 years and come out on the other end, because it's only about 6 inches long and I want it to appear longer than that. So I did that gluing of this off camera because I had my head in the way so much. Now I'm considering a brad to go on this canvas, and that's not canvas, sorry, this cork piece. It's just trying to figure out which size brad and where to put it. I think it needs something, so I'm not quite decided there. I know I'm going to put some trim top and bottom, and I was going to use a couple of different trims, but I didn't really have anything, so I think I'm going to add some washi tape here. My initial plan with this layout was not to use washi tape, but I think that it will be just the right thing to finish kind of filling this out. I don't know why I had it in my head that I didn't want washi tape for this, but I did to start with. But I think it's just the right thing to add a little bit of color and bring this in. I know what it was. I was originally not going to use any of the blue-green color, but that actually is what I needed to kind of finish this out. We weren't wearing any blue-green in any of our clothes, but it's in the papers, and just a little bit of it will kind of help bring things together. So I got my journaling glued on, and add a little bit more washi tape up there at the top. You'll see that part of it here in just a moment. Get my head out of the way again. And I'll use some Tombow adhesive to glue those pieces down. That third heart I'm still undecided on. I like it better than I thought I was going to. I really thought it was going to be distracting over there in the lower left corner of the photo, but it's working out pretty good. Just add a little bit more glue. And I do think I want to use that, so I'm going to commit and put that glue down there. And glue this heart down. Tombow adhesive or glossy accents, either one will hold these things in place. I've still not got quite the right size brad, I don't think, for my title block here. Okay, I think that one is better. And then I'm down to the enamel dots. And it looks like these, from my mind's eye, might be the best. I have some gold and I have some blue colored ones. I also have some pink. I decided to go with the gold. They showed up more than you think, and just that tone-on-tone accent is actually pretty good. And I used just a few of the blue-green ones to kind of tie in that blue-green color. I have a couple of packs of these because I was able to grab these at Michael's one day for $1 a pack. I just happened in there on the right day when they were just marking stuff down. Okay, and here's our completed page. You'll see the top of it here in just a moment. Let's take a look at the sketch. We've got the 4 6x6 pieces. I've got my border strip that I had to paint there and split behind the cork piece. Some trims, and everything kind of comes down on the diagonal for the page. I do feel like I have maybe one too many enamel dots. I tried to move it somewhere else and I finally decided it just needed to go altogether. And let's look at some close-ups. Up here in the upper left-hand corner, the trims and the enamel dots, and my heart paper clip, continuing on with the heart design. And I'm going to show you some close-ups of the layout. There's also a second layout, the other page with the two photos on it, and there's a link here at the end of this video to that video. So I hope you'll join me for that one as well. Thank you for watching. Be sure and check out my blog for the sketch for this page.